Date: 2021. Target: high-ranking South Korean officials. Location: Seoul, South Korea. Objective: infiltrate. Gain access, deploy malware. Origins of this attack: from the secretive cyber units operating within North Korea, known as APT37 or Reaper. On a normal day, a target like a government official would be protected by security teams, fences, and guards, but none of these defenses matter when the attack comes through an innocent-looking PDF attachment in their email. One click and the entire digital infrastructure of a government agency can be compromised, information stolen, and systems sabotaged, all without a single physical boundary being crossed. This was not the first time the Reaper had struck, nor would it be the last. For over a decade, this shadowy group of elite hackers, working directly under North Korea's infamous Reconnaissance General Bureau, had been breaking into some of the most secure systems in the world, stealing classified data, monitoring communications, and planting destructive malware, all without ever leaving their keyboards. What does Samsung, South Korean military intelligence, United States defense contractors, and even individuals who expose North Korean human rights violations all have in common? They were all targeted by this elite unit in devastating precision attacks that left security experts shocked at their sophistication. The question is, why is this one group so feared by security professionals around the world that they have earned their own three-letter classification? Advanced persistent threat. What does it take to become one of the most dangerous hacking groups on the planet? I am only asking out of professional curiosity. When cybersecurity firm FireEye first documented this group in 2018, they noted something chilling about its targets. Unlike most state-sponsored hacking groups that focus on strategic military targets, the Reapers seem to have a much darker mission, hunting down anyone who dared to criticize North Korea, no matter where they lived in the world. So how did such an isolated nation produce some of the most sophisticated digital weapons on Earth? The answer lies in a secret program that began in the 1990s, where children were literally kidnapped from their families to become cyber soldiers. North Korea is not exactly known for its technological prowess. The country has limited internet access, frequent power outages, and technology that appears frozen in time. But hidden behind this facade of technological backwardness lies one of the world's most advanced hacking operations. The answer begins in the early 1990s, when Kim Jong, the father of current leader Kim Jong-un, created what would become known as Bureau 121, a special cyber warfare division within North Korean intelligence. The mission was crystal clear: develop elite hackers who could target enemies of the state without ever firing a bullet. But here's the disturbing part. Starting as young as 11 years old, North Korean children who showed mathematical aptitude were pulled from their schools and families and sent to special compounds where they were trained in the art of cyber warfare. The lucky ones were eventually filtered into increasingly elite training programs, some attending the prestigious Miriam University, known informally as the Center for Automated Warfare. Unlike other North Korean military units, membership in these cyber divisions came with extraordinary privileges. Those selected received better food, special housing, and freedoms unavailable to regular citizens. By 2018, at least 6,000 trained hackers were operating under North Korea's Cyber Command, with the most talented joining units like the Reaper. These weren't your average hackers. What made the cyber assassins different was the almost artistic quality of their attacks. They specialized in creative social engineering, building highly customized psychological traps for specific targets. But the true genius of their operation became clear when researchers discovered something that changed everything we thought we knew about cybersecurity. They had figured out how to weaponize human empathy itself. Imagine you're a researcher studying North Korean human rights abuses. You receive an email from what appears to be a legitimate defector group with a document titled New Evidence of Prison Camp Expansion. You open it because it relates directly to your work, and within seconds, invisible code executes on your computer, giving the digital assassins complete access to everything you do online. This isn't a hypothetical scenario. It happened repeatedly to real researchers journalists, and activists. But what made it even more sinister was how perfectly crafted these emails were. The hackers had studied their targets for months, learning their interests, their colleagues, their writing style, even their emotional triggers. In one documented case from 2016, a North Korean defector who had been speaking out about human rights abuses discovered his computer had been compromised. Personal information, including the exact location of family members still in North Korea, had been stolen. 3 months later, those family members vanished without a trace. According to cybersecurity researchers, the Reaper has been directly linked to campaigns targeting individuals who expose or criticize the North Korean regime. These aren't just cyber attacks, they're digital death sentences carried out with surgical precision. FireEye documented one case where the group compromised a South Korean online forum frequently visited by North Korean defectors. When users visited the site, their computers were silently infected with malware that could activate webcams, microphones, and capture every keystroke. The hackers were literally watching and listening to their victims in real time. But here's what kept security experts awake at night. If the Reaper could do this to individual dissidents, what could they do to entire governments? The answer came in 2017, and it shocked the world. In 2019, these hackers pulled off what many consider the most audacious cyber attack in history. They didn't target government officials or military contractors, they targeted the cybersecurity professionals themselves, the very people whose job it was to stop them. According to researchers at SentinelOne, the attack began with carefully crafted emails to security researchers containing what appeared to be legitimate vulnerability research. But hidden within these documents was a new strain of malware designed specifically to create backdoors into the systems of those responsible for cybersecurity. Think about the implications. The defenders were being compromised by the very threats they were supposed to be studying. It was like a virus that specifically targeted doctors during a pandemic. The malware used in this attack, an evolution of their RokRAT tool, showed just how far ahead of the game they really were. Cloud services like Dropbox to hide its communications, making it nearly impossible to detect. This wasn't just an attack, it was a demonstration of technological superiority. But what researchers found in the code itself was even more terrifying. The cyber assassins weren't just stealing information, they were mapping networks, identifying critical infrastructure, and establishing permanent access points that could be activated at any moment. They weren't just preparing for espionage anymore, they were preparing for war. In May 2017, the world woke up to chaos. Hospitals in the UK couldn't access patient records. Train systems across Germany ground to a halt. Factories in China shut down completely. Over 200,000 computers across 150 countries had been infected by a single piece of malware, WannaCry. Initially blamed on criminal hackers, evidence later revealed the truth. WannaCry bore the digital fingerprints of North Korean hackers, specifically groups connected to the Reaper. But this wasn't about money or espionage. This was a test run for something far more destructive. Unlike traditional cyber espionage, WannaCry was designed to cause maximum chaos and economic damage. It was proof of concept for what cybersecurity experts now call cyber warfare. Attacks designed not just to steal information, but to cripple entire nations. Since then, leaked intelligence reports show that the elite unit has been systematically probing systems that control power grids, hospitals, water treatment facilities, and even nuclear plants across multiple countries. They're not just mapping these systems, they're testing whether they can shut them down. The implications are staggering. North Korea, a nation most people couldn't find on a map, now has the capability to potentially turn off the lights in major cities around the world. And the most frightening part, they could do it while maintaining complete deniability. Recent analysis shows the group has evolved far beyond anything security experts thought possible. They've developed sophisticated mobile malware that can steal messages, photos, and location data, essentially turning every smartphone into a potential surveillance device. But the most alarming development came in 2023, when researchers discovered evidence that the hackers were using artificial intelligence to craft more convincing attacks. Machine learning algorithms now analyze patterns in their targets' communications to create messages that are virtually indistinguishable from legitimate correspondence. We're entering an era where even trained cybersecurity professionals have difficulty distinguishing between real communications and perfectly crafted digital deceptions. The traditional advice about avoiding suspicious links becomes useless when facing adversaries who can perfectly mimic trusted contacts. As one security researcher put it, quote, "We're not just fighting hackers anymore. We're fighting an invisible army with nation-state resources and absolutely no rules of engagement." The question everyone is asking is simple. How do you defend against an enemy you can't see, who knows everything about you, and who's always one step ahead? The brutal truth is that there is no perfect defense against groups like the Reaper, especially for individuals specifically targeted by state-sponsored hackers with unlimited resources. Traditional security measures like firewalls and antivirus software are almost useless against custom malware designed to defeat specific defenses. But perhaps the most effective weapon against these digital assassins has been something they didn't expect: international cooperation. In a rare moment of global unity, countries have begun sharing intelligence about North Korean hacking operations, making it harder for the Reaper to operate with complete impunity. The United States Department of Justice has even taken the extraordinary step of indicting specific North Korean hackers by name, despite knowing they'll never see the inside of an American courtroom. These indictments serve a different purpose. They remove deniability and put faces on an invisible threat. In the shadows of the digital world, a war is being fought that most people don't even know exists. Every email you open, every link you click, every device you connect could potentially be a battlefield in this invisible conflict. The Reaper continues to evolve, incorporating new technologies and techniques that push the boundaries of what's possible in cyberspace. As our world becomes increasingly connected, with everything from cars to medical devices linked to the internet, the potential for devastating attacks grows exponentially. What started as a small group of elite hackers has become something far more dangerous: a digital weapon of mass destruction in the hands of one of the world's most unpredictable regimes. And unlike nuclear weapons, cyber weapons can be deployed instantly, anywhere in the world, without warning. Julian Assange exposed government secrets, and his life was destroyed. For what the cyber assassins do, they receive medals and privileges, living as heroes within North Korea itself. They operate with the full backing of a nation-state, with clearly defined strategic objectives and unlimited resources. The next time you receive an email with an attachment or click on a suspicious link, remember that somewhere in North Korea, the digital assassins of the Reaper are at their keyboards, planning their next campaign against targets who may not even realize they're being hunted. In the world of cybersecurity, what you cannot see can definitely destroy you. And right now, the most dangerous threat you've never heard of is watching, waiting, and preparing for a digital war that's already begun. Stay vigilant out there in the digital wilderness, because the invisible enemy is closer than you think.